Hey guys, this is Aton coming to you from CommonTime Pathways. We're here today with Syracuse, which is really exciting. We have Keaton over here who works over in the admissions department for the music program. And it's really exciting to have you on board, Keaton. We just love to let all of our fans and our students and our applicants and our families know what Syracuse is about and kind of learn a bit more about you and the culture and the environment there and why they should pick you and, give us a chance to really see the juice behind the curtain and really get into it a little bit. So, Keaton, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit, tell us what you do, give us a little background, and then we'll just see how the conversation flows.
Certainly. So I'm the associate director for all things recruitment in the world of visual and performing arts. I started back here in December, but I'm a Syracuse alum.
Oh, cool.
Of 2016. Yeah, I went somewhere
else.
You
just aged yourself on a public podcast.
I know. Well, no, I did that. Okay. I did that on purpose because I shaved recently, so I've got the baby face going on. So cool. it balanced out. They'll be like, oh, he looks pretty good. But I got back here. I wasn't a VPA student when I was here, but now that I am kind of a mouthpiece in talking about all the great things that exist in this school, particularly in music, it's fun for me. It's like I'm going through the process myself again, and I'm learning about some really amazing things and what makes music so special. So that in itself is kind of worth me coming to work every single day and kind of sharpening that creative knife of music that I never really had in my life before.
That's cool. Well, can you tell me a little bit like what typically for the people listening at home, they're clicking on Syracuse because they've heard of Syracuse. What is it about Syracuse that you think is like the biggest draw for someone to come to you? What are the 2-3 biggest things that people are typically like, oh, I've heard of Syracuse for this, I'd really like to consider?
Yeah, a couple years ago I would have said the success of basketball, but honestly it's been a couple of years.
Oh no. We won't talk about that.
No, we won't talk about that, but we're a football school now, 10 wins last year with Fran Brown. But anyway,
there you go.
I think Syracuse kind of is this really best of both worlds sort of place in that it's old, right? 1870. So It's got alumni going back a long, long time. I remember when I first was a student here, like during football and basketball games, they had this phrase that was like New York's college team. And so that alone, like New York's college, I kind of think it positions itself as kind of the be-all, end-all. Like if you're serious about your education, you should really think about, Syracuse. It's right in the middle of everything, right? We're about 2 hours from Canada, 4 hours from New York City, 4 hours from Boston, 3.5 from Philly. So it draws in a lot of people from a lot of really different places.
Yeah. I mean, if there was a geographic middle of New York, Syracuse would be it.
Right in the middle. Yeah.
It's
you
really
find that map, you put your finger in the middle, and there it is.
What's right in the middle of, it's Syracuse. That's
Syracuse University and the Great New York State Fair.
That's awesome. Oh, the Great New York State Fair. I like it.
But
cool.
In addition to that, I think, when I was a student myself, I heard about like the broadcasting school, Newhouse. That was kind of the big draw. But there's this really amazing gem in the College of Visual and Performing Arts sitting on this hilltop for people to really sink their teeth into. When I was doing my own research, preparing for my presentation, when I was interviewing for this position, SU was actually the first school in the country to give out a fine arts degree.
Wow.
So you've got this amazing history that oftentimes I don't think is kind of put to the forefront enough. Like the originators, the first of our kind. And so, it's alumni connections, it's opportunity. The building is absolutely gorgeous. There's just so many things here that students in the world of music can really latch onto. They can have this sense of pride in people who really know who they are and care about them, while also being able to say, I went to Syracuse. I'm a part of the 25,000 people who were there, when I was there too. So, conservatory style, kind of hiding within this giant R1, D1 school.
Research 1, D1 too. So that's super cool. Having a smaller music program is within a university that large is kind of unique. And then it's almost interesting because Syracuse is not a big city.
Nope.
It's very interesting. Like, I think was it more than half of the people who live in Syracuse go to Syracuse during the school year?
Yeah, I would
So,
think that's true, at least from my own experience. Yeah.
so like, talk to me. Like, if I'm a kid from a city, or if I'm a kid from 3 or 4 hours outside of a city, is this going to feel comfortable for me regardless? Like, it feels like the university is kind of a city unto itself.
Yeah, the school is positioned where it's up on a hill a little bit. So it's
And
got
you mean that physically, not like.
I mean that physically. Yes. It is up
There are
a
other
hill.
universities that place themselves on top of a hill. That,
Yes. I'm sure some people would hold that, but literally geographically speaking, it sits on top of a hill, and depending on where you are, you can look down on the cities, and then you can turn in a different direction, and you can see the rolling hills and mountains of the Adirondacks.
That's cool.
It's really like you drive 15 or 20 minutes one way, you're kind of in the middle of nowhere with no cell service. And then 5 or 10 minutes, you can go to downtown Armory Square, and you've got all sorts of cuisine that you could think of. So
That's
really,
pretty
no
cool.
matter where it is you're coming from, whether that's Omaha, Nebraska, or the Bronx, I really think there's pockets where everyone can kind of fit in and feel really good and feel welcome.
Feel like
for
they're
sure.
at home a little bit.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. I came from southeast Pennsylvania, so a small city about 50 miles west of Philly.
Yeah.
And I fit right in. That was a very easy adjustment coming up
That's
here.
cool. That's cool. Well, we won't discuss your obsession with the birds, which I'm sure is out there. But
you don't actually. I despise all Philadelphia sports teams, so we don't have to do this now.
All right, I don't want this podcast to turn nasty. So hang on a second. Okay, no, that's good. Let's That was funny. I like this. I like this a lot. But let's go down a different track here. Can you talk
Certainly.
to me about what is it in the VPA, the music department in particular? What is it that makes that a really appealing place for a kid to find themselves when they've got 500 options for what they might consider for school? Like, what is it about the music program at Syracuse within VPA that's really why the kids should be there? Why is it that they feel like they're at home? Is it a fantastic music program, fantastic band, international presence? Is it professors that are world class? Is it the fact that the university embraces the music department? Is it the fact that, give me something. What is it that makes the music department really a great opportunity for a kid who's thinking about keeping music in their life?
Yeah, I think what really separates it from a lot of other schools is we love students who just want to get nuts and just dive right into the deep end. Like those students who are serious about, I frickin' love music and I go crazy over the saxophone. Like, we want you, right? Like, yeah, let's have you shout from the mountaintops, like, this is what I love, this is what I'm really good at. And the faculty just really embraces that. You're never told, like, whoa, slow down there, kid. If there's several ensembles you want to try to join as a freshman or sophomore, we'll talk through that with you, but you're encouraged to do so. If you want to be a part of the marching band and your high school didn't have one, well, there's actually no audition process necessary for the marching band.
Cool.
So yeah, it's a great balance of, we've got everything for a student who's been playing the clarinet since they could hold one, and then we've got the idea that we're removing barriers for a lot of students who maybe haven't had opportunities within their school or their community to do this thing that they really love, that gets them really excited.
I can tell you that I actually have, not first-hand experience, but second-hand experience with what you're talking about. Two of my very best friends actually met in the marching band at Syracuse and got married.
Love it.
And she's the woman in that relationship was a bridesmaid at my wedding, and she's now the godmother of my child. And so that experience of Syracuse, even as a non-major, being a place where a musician can go and find lifelong partnerships and lifelong relationships and lifelong friends and love. That is something that I think Syracuse has always been in my mind for, simply because I know two people who literally met on the field and fell in love and ended up getting married, and it was all because of their experience at Syracuse.
Yeah,
so that's cool.
I honestly think, even I wasn't a VPA kid, but the music department was everywhere during my time. when I came to the open houses, the Sour Citrus Society played and welcomed everybody.
Talk to me about the Sour Citrus
The
Society.
sour,
Sour Citrus Society.
The Sour Citrus Society it's actually a smaller spin-off of the bigger marching band. So Sour Citrus will do things like basketball or volleyball.
Okay.
Right, so smaller in size, but certainly not in might and skill. They're at every sports game that I went to. They play the alma mater, which is the first thing that you really learn as a Syracuse student. Like, they're everywhere. They're a really crucial part of your Syracuse experience, even if you're not playing
in
the French
music
horn.
Program.
Yeah. And so it has that kind of like fun, prideful aspect of it too that speaks to the entire population. And then, you think about it like your story. It's like some student is coming this year who's playing in the drum line, and they're going to be a part of giving those really great memories to a lot of other students who they may never meet in person.
That's the power. That's the real power.
But if you live in Lawrence and Hall, on the other side of the dome, you're going to hear and see them practice.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
So,
that's really cool. No, talk to me a bit. You went into this moment where you said, if you want to go deep into the deep end right away, like you're an intense personality, you're a person who understands what you love and music is it. Like, you want that kid to talk to you. You want that kid to come to Syracuse. Can you talk to me about the kids that you're looking to enroll coming up in, 25 has sailed, but, talk to me about 26, 27, 28. What are the kind of students that you're looking for at Syracuse, especially in the music program, whether they're majors or not, whether they're just marching band kids or choir kids or orchestra kids that don't major in it? What are you looking for?
Yeah, curious, driven, fearless.
Fearless. I like fearless.
Think, especially nowadays, with artificial intelligence, you being able to craft a song in a couple of seconds or things like that, I feel like there's this bad idea that the performing arts are kind of being forced out, and I really don't think that's true.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I think you can never beat a live, in-person musical performance. I don't care how good the program is. My
favorite story about that is somebody who's a drummer who simply said, in the 1980s, drum machines were supposed to take over the world. And here we are. I'm still a professional drummer.
Precisely. Yeah. There's nothing like it. And I think that Syracuse is really looking for those students who are serious. It's like, yeah, I want to do this for a living. This is not something to fall back on while I have my actual, 9-to-5 job. I'm serious because I want to live well and prosper, right? In this thing. You got it. You've got my reference. Those are the kind of students that I think would do really well. And it's okay if they don't realize that right away, right? Like, I think we just want students to give this field a chance to get their bachelor's of music in, and then they can kind of give themselves permission to be like, yeah, I want to dive headfirst into this. So if you can cross that first hurdle of, I'm serious about this, I'm not getting a poli-sci degree and I'm going to play, in the orchestra in my spare time. That's the kind of student who I think is going to do really well here.
Do you have double major options?
Double majoring is very hard.
Yeah, it is. I figured out how to do it, but I'll tell you, it almost killed me.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I mean, depending on the program you want to study, like music industry or music education, like, I don't know how you're fitting in time for your meals and sleep, frankly. And then
you're 18, 19, 20, 21. You don't need sleep, and you barely need food. You're fine.
I always needed sleep. I never pulled all-nighters. I don't know. I guess I was just built a little different.
No, I regretted them very much.
I always encourage minors in case that's like an interest. Those are really easy to pull off, and they pair pretty well with the bachelor's in music degrees. Listen, nothing is impossible. Sure. If a student has a boatload of AP or IB credit, they can have that conversation with an advisor. And if they are so ambitious, we'll do our best to see if we can make this work for their extra program and get them out of here in 4 years.
Yeah, that's hard stuff. But it's cool. And then it would be really awesome to just get to, kind of connected to folks. Are you guys, I would love to have you guys on CommonTime Pathways to continue talking to the kids who are going to watch this video. For those of you who are, tuning in and checking this out, Keaton's going to be online. You can send Keaton an email directly. At this point, you know who he is. But, this is a really cool opportunity to go to a place where apparently, and this is what Keaton's telling us, you get the best of every world. You get the best of what a city is, of what a country is, of what a space is where you can feel like you can be heard and seen for who you are, but at the same time be in a larger economic network, something that makes college much more interesting in some cases. Some people really do want to, woodshed in a practice room for 8 hours a day. But some people are intense in other ways, and it seems like every one of them could potentially fit in at Syracuse, which is a really cool thing to hear. Yeah, man. So thanks very much for chatting with us today, and we'll see you on Common Time. Everybody else, give us a shout. Would love to see you, and if you want to go to Syracuse, hop on, make an account, and we'll get you connected to Keaton. You can go meet with him next week. Thanks, Keaton. I appreciate you hanging out.
Thank you very much for the airtime. I'm looking forward to working with so many great students in the coming years.
This is going to be cool. Talk soon.